Yeah, we've got a transmission coming in.
10-4.
Yeah, Brian, it's looking more and more like the Arizona Coyotes of the National Hockey League will be relocating to Utah next season.
Players and management has been told they are on their way. They will play next season in Salt Lake City.
The state is a sports state, which leads me to this.
Yes, it is. Welcome in live to the Delta Center. It is time to meet Utah's NHL franchise.
I'll answer it for him for the umpteenth time.
What?
That's right. Welcome back to the Puck Drop Podcast. I'm Cole, the NHL Music Man Chapman, and I'm here with Lieutenant Dangle D, Destin Edgington, and we are brought to you by Hockey Stops and Bucked Up. Let's take a Bucked Up energy drink, and we'll cheers to our guest, the Goobinator, Guby Customs himself. Peter Goobinator. That is his real last name, by the way. I'm going to shout that out immediately.
Shout out to the koozie made out of hockey laces.
Yeah. So Gooby, there's such a long story with this gentleman. We booked a flight for him. We brought him out here. He's designing custom skates for Liam O'Brien, Spicy Tuna. Those skates are going to be auctioned off, and all the proceeds are going to go to the Erica Carr family, and it's going to be put into a trust fund for Erica's children. Erica went viral, planning her own funeral here in Utah.
We really wish that she was still here today, like it was according.
It was expected, but
we tried everything we could to make things happen quick, but obviously that's.
And this is kind of what Gooby does, because so how we got introduced to Gooby was Liam. So Liam's mission is he's a child out in Toronto.
Yep.
And he has cystic fibrosis.
Right.
His mother reached out to us. She wanted his story to be told on our podcast. A lot to talk about with that, but he's with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. His wish was to design custom skates for Austin Matthews. And that's how kind of Gooby got started with Liam's mission, right? Yeah. And that's kind of how we all got introduced, and here we are today.
Exactly.
So what an intro.
And
what an intro.
And nothing but generosity out of you.
Yeah,
and everything that you do for the community. And that's from up north all the way down to the States. So
it is. I mean, I like doing it. I mean, I have a regular full-time job, so this is like a hobby of mine. And when I can auction something off or give it away for raising money, or it's just my time. So to me, it's just fun. It's a hobby. It's a passion of mine, and it makes me relax. So when I get introduced to these projects, sometimes it's heavy, especially this one for Erica. You guys introduced me to the story, and of course I was going to do it. I think the skates are the fastest I've ever done it because everything was done pretty quickly.
And stay tuned for the reveal. Yeah. That's going to be on the next episode.
If this camera's watching me, they're right here, and I'm not letting these guys see them. So
until tomorrow.
So I like teasing, especially that they're right there. You can reach them, but I'll kick you.
And I hate surprises, and I've already given them all out. Yeah. And I was going to try to hang on to them too, but I'm like, nope.
So let's hear your story, Gooby. How did you were kind of telling us a little bit earlier. How did you get started in art? How did it progress?
Everything.
Yeah. How did it progress into what you're doing today?
Let's go from age freaking 3 to all the way up.
3. Okay.
I'm just teasing.
How much time? No. So you know what? Everybody they started calling me an artist, and I don't see it. I'm just I just like coloring on something that's not paper. And
you're really good at it.
The niche was sports equipment, was clothing when I was young, because I would always get in trouble with whatever I would draw on. Yeah. And when I started playing hockey, it was the CCM tack skate with the white stripe was the one that everybody had.
Kind of like I've got those at his house right now, just hanging on his wall.
Yeah, so those ones, everyone had them.
But now they're actually bringing them back.
They're bringing them back. I actually made a skate last year for a pro player in Europe, Eric Jelena, and he asked me for that skate. So I made it for him, and then CCM is bringing back their old one. But that's how it started with that skate in the 90s.
Yeah.
I hated that everybody had the same skates, so I started coloring with like water washable Crayola markers on, and then after the game they'd be white again, and I was like,
how do I figure this out?
So then it was Sharpies, then it was just everything, but everything always chipped away, everything always, washed off. But then I was told so many times that I had to stop this. It was just stupid. And nobody saw it. And, like, why? Why would I do this every day? But it was the same thing with my hockey tape. I used to color on my hockey tape just because whenever I scored a goal, I would rub it in the goalie's face. I would do something like goal scorer.
Don't tell Keizo.
Well, we'll see. If he puts on the pads and I make him some skates, I'm gonna try to dangle him like you.
Well, thank you.
But if he saves it, then I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
Then I'll say it's the skates. But it was cool meeting him. He was like, I can't wait to see the show tonight. But how it all started, it was like that, and then I stopped for a bit, and then it was just drawing on my clothes, drawing on my shoes. Nothing like what you would see shoe customizers do today, which is like just unbelievable work. And throughout COVID, I just opened up an Instagram account because I had moved to a new town and I was kind of by myself. And
Where are you from?
So I was born, raised Montreal, Canada.
Conceived in?
Well, in Europe, in Poland. Yes, so made over there, dropped off over here. Or over there, because we're
Well, it depends on how far you go that way.
Yeah. And then I moved to Alberta. I moved to Fort McMurray, Alberta, just because I had like this really good friend of mine who, just the nicest person. And he was like, yeah, listen, they're opening a skate shop, like sharpenings. And I was like, I'm done with mechanical assembly. I was building city buses for Volvo. Oh, wow. And I was like, you know what? Like I just got separated. I was not in a good place. And I just wanted something like simple. And I still wasn't doing like skates fully. So I moved to the skate shop, and like 6 months later, COVID hit. And then 2 months after losing my job due to COVID, there was this mass flood that evacuated me from my apartment, and the Red Cross couldn't accommodate my dogs. So they were like, you have to drop your dogs off at a camp if a different camp. And I was like, absolutely no way.
Yeah, no.
And they're like, well, you can't stay here. Yeah. So I ended up by choice homeless for like a few weeks in my pickup truck.
Shout out to that. Because I wouldn't leave my dog behind you.
No. My dogs were like, and plus, I'm in the woods. It's super nature over there. Dogs can run free.
Yeah.
It was like an amazing growing time, but I was bored and I was doing, nothing. So I had a bunch of sample skates and I started doing them up and I started advertising them on Instagram. And man, I just got lucky because the players were in a bubble. They were starting to like look at social media, I guess, more because they couldn't really go out or anything aside from playing hockey.
Oh yeah.
And one of the first players was Curtis Gabriel, who at the time was in San Jose.
Oh yeah.
Fighter. And he at the moment there was the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. Right. There was a lot of movement in the Pride community. And he was an ally to both causes. So he was like, listen, I want you to make me a pride skate and like, for the Black Lives movement. And I was like, okay, no worries, but I'm not down to do like just simple rainbow. I want to make a color shifting skate. And then for the Black Lives, I wanted to make something stealthy and with like chrome accents. And he wasn't really involved in the design. But he was like, I like what you're doing. I like what you're thinking.
Trust the process type of thing.
And it was so cool. He got the skates. He was so happy. He promoted the shit out of me on Twitter. Nice. And that was the funnest thing for me was I wasn't just sending somebody a product and they were just happy. They appreciated it. They talked about it.
Had a
It
value.
meant something
Yeah,
to
had a
them.
value to it. Yes.
And
yes.
they also Curtis auctioned off those skates for the Black Girls Hockey Club in California. They raised good money, so it was a lot of fun to hang out with him, to talk to him. Anthony Duclair.
Oh, yeah.
I got introduced to Anthony through his dad, who was a client of mine when I was managing a hockey store in Montreal. He would always come in with his youngest son, Christopher, who's an unbelievable hockey player too.
The Declares.
Yeah. Duclair's like they're the
name.
nicest
Just the name.
family. It's so cool. So Wendell, who's the father, he was like, "Listen, this is your moment. This is the time. Anthony, you show him something." And I had made a skate that wasn't directly in conversation with Anthony, but I thought it was cool for the movement. And it was like a Black Lives Matter skate, and I kind of made it like very gloss black with like a gold and a red X, Malcolm X. I wrote Black Lives Matter.
Cool.
I thought it was a cool skate, and I showed it to him. I got the chance to meet him like at his dad's house, and I showed it to him, and he was like, it's a little bit too flashy for me. And I was like, shit, I lost my one chance,
Like a contact of sorts of.
But Christopher loved the skates I had, so there was like I thought I lost it.
Kind of a give and take to it.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
will. Like,
So I felt really bad for that. But then he called me like a few days later, and he was like, "Hey, I like it, but I want something more stealth, like black on black." And I was like, "Okay, like matte black
with like
skate
a gloss
with
black
gloss
or
black,
something.
like ghosted kind of thing." And he was like, yeah, I like that. And then I did it. I sent it to him. He loved them. And then Fox News caught them on like, because they were blacked out, and they zoomed in. And then a bunch of people who were following me, they sent me the video. They were like, hey, is this you? And I was like, yeah. And then right after the game, a journalist from NHL.com, he called me and he was like, hey, I want to talk to you about these skates. And I was like, whoa,
Nice.
this is big. And oh man, I was freaking out, right? And then Anthony called me like just 2 months later or something like that. And he's like, hey, I need another pair of skates. And I was like, oh no. Like what happened? Did they get destroyed? And he's like, well, no, I need new skates.
want another one.
and then I was like, so I calculated, because beer league, we play like one game a week, maybe two, which are an hour. And then I calculated that in about 5 years, we break our skates. We need new skates, 5-6 years, whatever. Some people longer. And I calculated the amount of hours that he played in 2 months, including practices and games. And it was about the equivalent of like me playing for 5 years. And I was like,
Love it.
Oh,
yeah, that's how they got worn out.
Yeah, so they got worn out, and that he's calling me for another pair was
You're
the
like,
biggest
it's not
boost.
the product.
It was the
provided,
biggest
it's
boost of
just
confidence for me.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I asked him, I'm like, can you send me pictures of what they look like now? And he did, and I was like, are you happy with this? And he's like, yep. But then he asked me to add gold
so
and
awesome.
red accents, and I was like, that's what I showed you like a few months ago, which was too flashy.
Oh, yeah,
But now
yeah.
he got into it, and he started playing around with the ideas, with everything.
Just grew onto him.
Yeah.
He was like,
And you know what? If he got injured 1 year, but he accepted that I make him a baby blue pair of skates for his retro reverse jersey in Florida when they were baby blue, and we made them. And if he would have not been injured, I think they would have changed hockey forever, because he was gonna wear them. They are approved. And he's worn my skates in games like for a season.
Well, let's touch on that real quick. So your skates are NHL approved.
Yeah.
So from what, like, I never got a letter directly,
Right.
but I've done skates for the All-Star game. I've done skates for Heritage Classics games. So special events where other players who tried to put stickers on their skates got rejected for safety reasons. It just looked like it could fall off. When they saw my skates for Mitch Marner, the first year, so the All-Star game was in Florida, so 2 years ago, let's say, and they saw the skates, they were approved. So the company True told me, this is good.
Well,
he's going to wear them in a game.
And just based off the photos, it almost looks like you have like a custom clear coat. I'm not, like I said, you don't got to give your secrets away by all means.
There's a process. Like I would never be able to do something for a team because it takes me about 6 to 8 hours to do a pair of skates.
Unless you have literally a.
Well, then I have to I need a month,
like,
you know?
Yeah.
So I but generally I'll do skates within, I always say including shipping, like 2-3 weeks, because now I have clients in all of North America.
To be honest, again, shout out Guby Customs and
shout out to Hockey Stops because they helped us make this all happen.
And not only that, but they are so fair priced for the amount of extensive work that he does put in. And so,
well, people keep telling me that it's not enough. So I don't know because it doesn't exist. I can't compare it to
exactly.
Like a car can compare to another car,
right?
Because it exists, different brands.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to value it because to me it's just fun.
Well, and keep having fun because that's all that matters, and that's what keeps people going, right? But at the end of the day, too, like, I mean, know your worth.
Well, and so at that at that All-Star game, didn't you? I think you said you got featured on Spit and Chicklets or something.
That was the other one. That was the other All-Star game. So last year, 2 years ago was in Florida. That was the first time that I was contacted for such a big event. Then, last season, so the 23-24 season, the All-Star game was in Toronto. Now, at this point, I've already done few pairs. Dude, I love this ring. Okay, like I'm wearing this. I'm playing with it. I'm so happy right now. So this is Destin's ring right here. He let me wear it. But yeah, nice. Sorry, I just went to a different.
I don't think Cole still knows what that means. We'll get him there.
At this point, I went to this All-Star game because I was asked to by Ty Gretzky. Now, at this point, I met Wayne Gretzky's son a few years ago. He loved my work, and he's like, "Hey, I want to do some skates, to tribute my dad's career."
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yo, and so I was like, dude, do you know who your dad is? Like, this is not. This is, and
so
to
how old is he then?
He's in his early 30s.
Oh, okay. So he definitely has to know who his dad is.
Yeah, no. He
teasing me,
but he calls. We're talking. I thought he wanted, but it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is 99. This is commemorative.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first skates we did were Oilers skates, and I told him, like, because I did my research and I watched Wayne Gretzky play, and I said, listen, if we're doing Oilers skates, the first thing I need to do is blue holders, and he was like, oh yeah, you got to do that, and then I'm like, what else? And he kind of said, I need Adidas because they sponsor his hockey school.
Okay.
So I did some Adidas logos, and then he's like, whatever else you do it. And then I sent it to him. He loved them.
How many pairs did you end up doing for him?
Up to today, we're at 3 pairs now.
Did you do a Kings?
I did a Kings, and they're chrome. And yeah, so it's
shiny.
And he wears them all the time.
Well, they have the chrome helmet now, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes. So and he did it in like this old English font. They're so nice.
We're gonna have to get some pictures of those.
I'll show you pictures. It's so we're going back to the All-Star game.
Yes.
So now I get invited, and he tells me, listen, we're opening this like museum for Wayne Gretzky. It's called the Gretzky Basement. Come, and you'll make me some skates. You'll deliver these skates.
So now that's in Toronto, right?
This is Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I do 2 pairs of skates for Mitch Marner at that for that All-Star game. One to auction off, one to play with. I do the skates for Wayne Gretzky. I did Ty Gretzky. I did Ty Gretzky's skate. Yes,
But you know damn well Wayne probably saw him,
probably.
right?
they do. So the first ones, the Oiler ones, Wayne actually signed them.
Nice.
And then they auctioned them off for a kid at their hockey school who has medical conditions.
Love it.
So it was fantastic. The NHL did the auction, so it was cool. I'm proud of it. You
Well,
know?
and if you have any connections with that, we'd like to do the same with what we have here as well.
I'll try.
We'll
We'll
navigate
see.
that in a little bit.
We'll see.
Keep going. I'm loving it. I'm
And
loving it.
then I did 2 pairs of skates for Akeem Aliyu, who he's the founder of HDA, Hockey Diversity Alliance. So I was scheduled to go to a few events, few places to drop off sticks and skates to a few people. And then Ty mentions to me, he's like, hey, the Spit and Chicklets guys are going to be upstairs doing their podcast, just if you want. And I'm like, I'm going to make him a gift. So I get there, I give Ty his skates. He freaks out. He loves them. And those were Campbell's All-Star. Because to me, when I look at Wayne Gretzky in an All-Star career, that orange jersey to me is iconic.
It pops.
It
pops. Yes.
It's old, but there's nothing
but that's the nostalgia.
Vintage. Yeah,
exactly. That's the best part about it.
So it was the skates were like people. They stopped. They looked at them. So Ty was super happy, and then the Spit and Chicklets guys came down, and they were told to that I'm here to give him a gift, and they sat down, and both of them they were genuinely impressed. To me, this is 2 guys that have grown their brands and their podcasts so much.
Oh yeah.
That I was nervous because I didn't know if they were going to like it.
We're coming for you.
Biz.
Imagine.
You're going to be spitting your own chicklets after we're done here.
But they're super cool guys, and then
All
they
respect.
liked the skates. They pointed out certain like little details that I did, and it was just unbelievable that they were.
Well, I think now's
willing.
the time that you're going to have to open that bag. I'm just teasing.
No, because I was gonna say, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I hate surprises, and I want to see them so bad.
No. You'll have to wait.
So make sure you're checking out this guy's work, Guby Customs, on
Absolutely.
Instagram. And you also did a Spit and Chicklets design, didn't you? I saw you do a yellow and pink pair.
So
like the
one
detail on
was for the Pink Whitney brand.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other one was for
Pink
the
Whitney.
Big Deal Brewing and Spit and Chicklets.
Okay.
So the 2 skates were very different, but they were the same pair.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
that just stems from what they've accomplished
Yeah,
in
yeah,
and of
yeah.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We're
really-
getting shout out Aaron, by the way. We're gonna have to get some skates done with Arc Studio or
We're going to
Illuminex.
get some Puck Drop
Illuminex,
podcast
yeah.
skates,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. You got to put them up in the studio here.
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
This is decorations.
I'm going to wear them on my feet and just be like, yeah.
When I hit the lottery, I'm gonna totally get.
I was
10 pairs.
actually going to wear these ones for this episode and just put them up on that.
You can wear those ones.
They I don't know. They won't fit.
Got butter knives on the bottom of them.
We might have you customize those bad boys if you can.
But no, it was like the story just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah.
And yes,
And it's
so,
well deserved.
and that's how we got in contact with you, right?
Yeah, so
I mean,
through-
you're making moves, right?
Thank
So,
you.
to be fair, I'm gonna go ahead and say shout out Johnny Hockey. What's his last?
Johnny
Patrice, or no Patrice or Johnny? Not well. And
He's a
Goudreau.
Canadian ambassador
reason I
for
even found
Blade
you.
Tech. Partially, well,
His last name is like.
it kind of worked with Liam's story and Johnny Hockey. So like
Well,
we got
and-
introduced to you.
and we're not trying to take away
Anyways.
from the Gaudreau brothers because
Yeah.
that's obviously rest in peace. But
Shout
his
out to
tag-
Johnny.
His tag is Johnny Hockey.
Yeah.
But shout out Johnny.
Yeah,
But
he
he's the one
initially
that
showed
linked-
you to us, and it was kind of ironic because shortly after he showed us your page,
Yeah.
a week later we had
we were in
Liam's
touch with you,
story,
and then that
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
else with it.
And shout out to
I
that
wanna-
family.
I give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if we're gonna go like the Liam story is that too. That was like heartbreaking because they contacted me and they were like, "You wanna do this project?" And I was like, "Don't even ask." Like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Right.
Exactly.
And then I heard the story and I met Liam officially in Toronto for the first event that was presenting him that his wish is going to get granted.
Was he terminal?
I don't know. And I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask.
Not a business, but
So-
hey, shout out Liam though.
He just got out of the hospital, so
Yeah.
Liam,
awesome.
glad to see that you're
Yeah.
doing better.
And shout out to you, buddy.
Shout out to
Keep
the
working-
mother.
Hey, keep fighting hard, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a hockey player.
Yeah, he is. That's right. And that project is a lot of fun because they sent me drawings that he did.
Oh, cool.
and you put them onto the skates, right?
Well, that's right. So so I was supposed to reproduce them like as ideas, and I was like, no, I'm gonna find like a print shop that's gonna and
do
you know
that,
what?
yeah.
A lot of print shops were like, no, this is too low quality. We can't reprint this.
What?
And I found a lady,
Walmart.
Empress in Montreal, Marina.
out.
She was like, so do you want this to look exactly like this drawing? And I was like, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. That's the point.
Yeah.
And it's like she
and
said,
you put them,
so I've done the sticks.
Oh, that's cool too.
and you showed us those sticks,
and
and
that's super
send
cool
us
too.
all the media. We'll put it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And even sticks customized. That's
Yeah, yeah.
incredible.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they glow in the dark and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
this guy's
that's for
amazing.
Brent Sopel. Brent Sopel and his Dyslexia Foundation. He's been asking me to do a few things that are completely different. And dude, I'm loving it. And
Get you
it's-
some breezers that can glow and do some stuff.
Well, so I've made skates
The
that
glow
glow
in the dark
dark.
ones are sick.
It's a
Oh,
lot of
without
fun.
a doubt.
It's a lot of because kids have their own ideas
Right.
of what they like, and they don't care what other people say.
And you know what? I have wholeheartedly come to terms with. I know a lot of people that are going to want these skates.
Well,
So you
thank
better
you.
start getting busy and open up a shop.
Well, maybe here in Utah.
yeah,
I like these mountains.
Come on
man.
down,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. I like these mountains. I like the air here. I like Aaron's cars. So
I like his hat, Buffalo Nickel.
yeah.
We've got a little bit of time left, very short. So,
Yeah.
any last shout outs? Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. I want to shout out Leslie from A6. She's been fantastic with me. We connected. She sent me a bunch of shoes. I love A6. The Gretzky family, the Sopels, just every single person who has ordered a pair of skates from me.
Where do you get your blades?
Blade Tech is the company that provides all my blades. So each project that I make, I include a set of Blade Tech blades because they complete the whole thing. Because I'll touch the boot, I'll touch the holders, I'll dye them different colors. But then when you get like the simple, like the blades that the skates come with, it doesn't look complete.
Yeah,
you know,
Blade Tech ties it all together because
Yeah.
they've got
Well, they
custom
can do-
colors.
Yeah.
Like
and
they can do like almost an etching. And
etching.
they do. So I
colors.
whenever it's a project from me, I get my logo engraved in the toe of the blade. I put a lot of engraving in the middle, and then their logo is in the heel. So they can do custom colors, and the thing is like initially they were doing like 2 colors, maybe 3 colors with some engraving, and then I started asking them to do some stuff, and they're like, "Let me get back to you," and then they're like, "Okay, we can do that," and I'm like,
Nice.
"Do it."
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
and then I'd start asking for other stuff, and they're like,
Yeah.
Gooby, and like,
Yeah.
seriously? And I'm like, yeah, I want that.
And they got it.
And then they would do it. So I push them, they push me, and then it's like a good partnership. I mean, just I'm flabbergasted that I'm even here, like that you guys brought me here, and that you asked me to sign pucks. It was like,
No, you've
That's-
been
that's-
nothing.
well,
but
Shout out to
amazing.
you. Shout
Yeah,
out to everything
hey,
you're doing.
thank
We're
you.
gonna do
We're
another episode with you tomorrow.
We're
Thank
gonna
you.
end up getting him into shops all around the states
Yep.
and provinces.
Yep.
I hope so. That's the good. It's a dream to at least have my work available. Like I said, I don't think I could ever do a full team or like.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, I need time.
We'll
I
figure it
need
out.
time.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Shout
But thanks,
out. We'll
thanks
talk to you
again, Gooby. We're obviously
you.
we're doing another
Thanks.
episode
Excited to
tomorrow.
have
It's
you.
going to be amazing.
Yes.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. Thanks for coming to Utah.
I wanted to just because I have some friends of mine who did this for me. So this is summer skates, my buddy. That's for Cole over there.
Ooh.
And then Destin, these are yours.
Hey, thank
So-
you so much, sir.
Guby
those-
Custom. here on the Puck Drop Podcast. And I'm going to wear these all around my house. I love
probably
it.
put them on right now.
Thank you,
These
sir.
shoes suck.
Well, that's what I said when you were talking about your shoes. I was like, you don't want to wear socks there. Put these on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been the Puck Drop Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Big things happening, guys. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
Guby for president.